Ladies and gentlemen, there is something incredibly powerful about a woman who embraces solitude. She does not seek validation. She does not fear loneliness. She is not distracted by the noise of the world. Instead, she withdraws, not in weakness, but in strength, to a place where she listens to the voice that matters most. A woman who spends time alone with God becomes a woman that no force on earth can control. Have you ever wondered why the enemy attacks those who spend time alone? Because isolation with God produces revelation, it births power, it refines purpose, and when a woman learns to stand in the presence of God without needing the approval of man, she becomes truly dangerous. Because by the time you finish this message, you will understand that solitude is not loneliness, it is a calling. A woman who walks with God in her private moments will move with power in public. She does not react. She discerns. She does not fear. She prays. She does not break. She rises. If you have ever felt the need to step away, to sit in silence, to disconnect from the distractions around you, this is your confirmation. God is calling you deeper. Because when a woman learns to be alone with him, she becomes a warrior that no one saw coming. Now let me tell you why. A woman who embraces solitude discovers a power that many overlook. She is not avoiding the world. She is preparing herself to influence it in ways that others cannot comprehend. Solitude is not isolation. It is an intentional retreat to a place where she can hear the voice of God clearly, where she can reflect without distraction, and where she can strengthen the core of who she is. A woman who knows how to be alone is dangerous because she does not rely on external validation. She is not swayed by opinions, nor is she easily manipulated. She finds her strength in stillness, and that strength becomes her greatest weapon. Most people seek to fill their time with distractions, with people, with noise. They fear silence because in silence they must confront themselves. But a woman who embraces solitude understands that silence is where true transformation happens. She learns to face her fears, to process her emotions, and to align herself with her purpose. She does not need to constantly be surrounded by people to feel complete, because she knows that her completeness comes from within. When a woman reaches this level of awareness, she becomes untouchable. She moves with confidence not because others approve of her, but because she has already approved of herself. The enemy fears a woman who spends time alone because in her solitude she is strengthened. She prays with focus, she listens with intent, and she receives wisdom that cannot be found in the noise of the world. She does not react impulsively to situations because she has already sought divine guidance. She does not fear uncertainty because she has spent enough time alone to trust that God is leading her steps. She does not crumble under pressure because she has already been refined in the quiet places where no one was watching. When a woman understands the power of solitude, she transforms her relationships. She does not need others to make her feel valuable, so she does not settle for relationships that drain her spirit. She does not tolerate toxic connections because she knows the peace that exists when she is alone with God. She chooses her friendships carefully, surrounding herself only with those who align with her purpose. She does not waste her words on gossip because she has learned the power of speaking life. She does not entertain meaningless conversations because she has learned that silence often speaks louder than words. The world does not understand a woman who finds strength in solitude. They question why she is not desperate for attention, why she does not need to be constantly entertained, why she seems at peace even when she is alone. What they do not realize is that she has found something far more valuable than the temporary approval of others. She has found clarity, she has found wisdom, she has found God. And when a woman finds God in her solitude, nothing can shake her. Her power is not in how loud she speaks, but in the depth of her presence. When she walks into a room, she does not need to demand respect. It is given to her because of the way she carries herself. She does not seek control, yet she has influence. She does not seek to dominate, yet she commands attention. She does not need to prove herself because she has already been validated by the one who matters most. A woman who spends time alone is not lonely. She is preparing. She is refining her spirit. sharpening her mind and building a foundation that cannot be moved. She knows that the greatest battles are not fought in public, but in the secret place where she prays, where she surrenders, and where she gains the strength to rise. She is not afraid to be misunderstood because she is not living for the approval of people. She has already made peace with the fact that not everyone will understand her journey, and that is perfectly fine. Many women fear solitude because they equate it with rejection. But solitude is not rejection. It is redirection. It is an opportunity to step away from distractions and hear the voice of God more clearly. It is a chance to heal, to grow, and to become the woman she was meant to be. And when she emerges from her solitude, she is no longer the same. She walks differently. She speaks differently. She moves with authority because she has been refined in the quiet moments where no one was watching. A woman who embraces solitude does not waste her energy proving her worth. She knows who she is. She does not seek external validation. She has already validated herself. She does not fear being alone. She cherishes it. And because of this, she becomes a force to be reckoned with. She is not dependent on anyone's love, approval, or recognition because she has found everything she needs in the stillness of God's presence. And that is why she is dangerous, because she cannot be controlled, manipulated, or broken. She is whole, she is strong, and she is unstoppable. A woman who spends time alone is a woman who understands the value of her spiritual connection. She is not distracted by the noise of the world, nor is she constantly seeking the approval of others. Instead, she retreats into a sacred space where she can be still, where she can listen, where she can receive divine wisdom without interference. This connection is not something she stumbles upon. It is something she cultivates. She knows that true strength does not come from external sources, but from the depth of her relationship with God. When she steps away from the world, she is not escaping. She is preparing. She is prepared. She is creating space for God to speak to her, to mold her, to fill her with wisdom that cannot be found in the constant rush of daily life. A woman who prioritizes solitude does not see prayer as an obligation, but as a necessity. She understands that without it, she moves through life blindly, reacting to circumstances instead of shaping them. But when she enters that place of stillness, when she allows herself to be fully present with God, she emerges with a clarity that is unshakable. People often wonder how some women carry such peace, how they seem unbothered by the chaos around them. It is because they have built a foundation in the quiet moments when no one was watching. A woman who nurtures her spiritual connection does not rely on the world to tell her who she is. She does not chase after recognition because she has already been affirmed by God. She does not seek constant validation because she knows she is already chosen. This understanding gives her an unbreakable confidence, a sense of certainty that others cannot easily comprehend. The world teaches women to seek fulfillment in relationships and achievement status. But a woman who has spent time alone with God knows that none of these things can truly satisfy the soul. She has learned that there is a difference between temporary happiness and lasting peace. She has discovered that joy is not found in things, but in presence. The presence of God, the presence of truth, the presence of purpose. Because of this, she does not settle. She does not allow distractions to pull her away from what truly matters. She walks through life with a divine assurance, knowing that she is guided, knowing that she is protected, knowing that she is deeply loved. When a woman cultivates her spiritual connection in solitude, she becomes a vessel for divine wisdom. She does not speak carelessly because she understands the power of her words. She does not act impulsively because she has learned the value of patience. She does not live in fear because she has already surrendered her worries to a higher power. This wisdom makes her dangerous, not in a way that harms, but in a way that transforms. She is not easily swayed, she is not easily deceived, and she is not easily broken. The enemy fears a woman who has spent time alone with God because she moves with purpose. She does not react emotionally to every challenge because she has already received the answers in prayer. She does not allow negativity to consume her because she has already been filled with truth. She does not crumble under pressure because she has already been strengthened in the presence of the one who holds all power. This makes her unstoppable. A woman who nurtures her spiritual connection is also deeply discerning. She does not allow just anyone to enter her life. She understands that not everyone is meant to walk with her, that not every voice deserves her attention, that not every opportunity is aligned with her purpose. This discernment is not something that comes from intellect alone. It comes from time spent in the presence of God. It is in solitude that she learns to distinguish between what is good and what is truly meant for her. She does not rush decisions because she trusts divine timing. She does not force things to happen because she knows that what is meant for her will never require manipulation. This level of trust, this level of faith, makes her a force to be reckoned with. She does not fear setbacks because she knows they are setups for something greater. She does not fear loss because she knows that God restores. She does not fear being alone because she knows that solitude is where she is refined, strengthened, and prepared for what is to come. She understands that every moment spent in the presence of God is a moment spent gaining wisdom, clarity, and divine favor. A woman who has cultivated this connection does not just walk. She carries an authority that is felt before she even speaks. She does not seek attention, yet she draws it. She does not demand respect, yet she commands it. She does not seek to control, yet she influences. And the reason for this is simple. She is not operating in her own strength. She is operating in divine power. She understands that true transformation does not happen in the public eye, but in the quiet moments where God is shaping her into the woman she was meant to be. And because she has learned to embrace those moments, because she has learned to sit in the stillness and receive, she emerges with a strength that cannot be explained, only experienced. She is unshaken by the storms of life, because she has already found shelter in the presence of God. She is undeterred by the opinions of others, because she has already heard the voice that matters most. This is why a woman who always spends time alone is very dangerous, because she is not controlled by the world. She is led by something far greater. A woman who is comfortable being alone is a woman who has mastered the art of self-reflection. She does not fear silence, nor does she feel the need to constantly fill her life with distractions. Instead, she embraces solitude as a time to evaluate her thoughts, assess her actions, and align herself with her true purpose. In a world that encourages constant movement, she owns the power of stillness. She knows that growth does not happen in the noise of the crowd, but in the quiet moments where she can hear her own heart and the voice of God. Most people avoid being alone because they are afraid of what they might discover about themselves. They keep busy, constantly surrounded by people, constantly engaging in mindless activities because silence forces them to confront their reality. But a woman who is strong in solitude welcomes these moments of deep introspection. She does not run from her thoughts. She examines them. She does not suppress her emotions. She processes them. She does not hide from her flaws. She works on them. This makes her dangerous because she is always evolving, always growing, always becoming a better version of herself. Self-reflection is a powerful tool that allows her to understand her own strengths and weaknesses. She does not need others to point out her shortcomings because she has already examined them and is actively working to improve. She does not live in denial about her mistakes, nor does she let them define her. Instead, she learns from them, allowing every failure, every setback, and every disappointment to shape her into someone wiser and stronger. She takes responsibility for her life, refusing to play the victim. She does not blame others for her circumstances, nor does she waste time complaining. She looks inward, asking herself what she can do differently, how she can respond better, and how she can grow from every experience. A woman who values self-reflection also possesses a deep sense of self-awareness. She knows what triggers her, what excites her, what drains her, and what fuels her passion. She does not act on impulse because she understands her emotions and takes the time to process them before making decisions. This makes her difficult to manipulate. She cannot be easily deceived by flattery or swayed by empty promises because she knows exactly what she wants and what she deserves. She does not need someone else to tell her who she is because she has already taken the time to figure that out for herself. Her ability to reflect also gives her a clear vision for her future. She is not wandering through life aimlessly, hoping for things to fall into place. She has taken the time to set goals, to evaluate her progress, and to make intentional decisions that align with her purpose. She does not rely on luck or wishful thinking. She relies on preparation and faith. She understands that success is not accidental but the result of discipline, self-awareness, and a willingness to adapt when necessary. Because of this, she does not waste time on things that do not serve her growth. She is not easily distracted by temporary pleasures or superficial pursuits. She is focused, determined, and unwavering in her commitment to becoming the best version of herself. This deep level of self-reflection also transforms the way she interacts with others. She does not enter relationships out of loneliness or desperation. She is not afraid of being alone, so she does not settle for connections that drain her or pull her away from her purpose. She chooses her relationships wisely, surrounding herself only with people who uplift, inspire, and challenge her to grow. She is not easily offended because she understands that people's words and actions are often a reflection of their own struggles. She does not engage in unnecessary conflicts because she has learned that peace is far more valuable than proving a point. A woman who is comfortable being alone also understands the importance of setting boundaries. She knows her worth, and she refuses to tolerate anything less than what aligns with her values. She does not allow people to take it. She understands that life is full of challenges, disappointments, and setbacks, but instead of allowing these moments to break her, she uses them as opportunities to grow. She has spent enough time alone to reflect on past experiences, learn from them, and move forward with wisdom. She does not dwell on failures because she knows they are stepping stones to success. She does not fear rejection because she has learned that every closed door is a redirection to something better. This mindset makes her unstoppable. No challenge is too great, no obstacle too intimidating. She does not crumble under pressure. She rises above it. She is also deeply disciplined. A woman who spends time alone understands the importance of self-mastery. Without the distractions of the world, she has the space to set goals, create plans, and commit to self-improvement. She does not wait for motivation. She cultivates discipline. She is not swayed by fleeting emotions, but remains committed to what she knows is right. Whether it is her health, her career, or her personal growth, she is consistent. She knows that greatness is not achieved through occasional bursts of effort, but through daily habits and unwavering focus. Her inner strength makes her unshakable in the face of criticism. She is not easily offended, but she does not base her worth on what others say about her. She listens to constructive feedback, but does not allow negativity to consume her. She understands that opinions are just that, opinions. They do not define her, limit her, or control her. Because she has spent time alone developing a strong sense of self, she does not react emotionally to every insult, every judgment, or every attempt to bring her down. She moves with grace, wisdom, and confidence, knowing that her value is not up for debate. She also possesses emotional strength. Many people allow their emotions to control them, reacting impulsively to situations without thinking. But a woman who has spent time in solitude has learned to master emotions. She does not suppress them, but she understands them. She knows when to express herself and when to remain silent. She knows when to walk away and when to stand her ground. This level of self-awareness gives her control over her life. She is not ruled by emotions, but by wisdom and discernment. Her independence is another sign of her strength. She does not need to be constantly surrounded by people to feel whole. She enjoys companionship, but she is not dependent on it. She has learned to be her own best company, to enjoy her own presence, and to find fulfillment in her own journey. This independence makes her incredibly powerful because she does not make decisions based on loneliness or fear. She does not stay in unhealthy relationships out of desperation. She does not accept less than she deserves simply because she is afraid of being alone. Instead, she waits for what aligns with her values, her purpose, and her worth. A woman who has built inner strength through solitude carries herself differently. She does not seek attention, yet people notice her presence. She does not try to prove herself, yet others respect her. She does not beg for love, yet she is deeply cherished. This is because she has developed a quiet confidence that cannot be faked. It is not arrogance, but assurance. She walks with a steady heart, knowing that she is enough, that she is capable, and that she is guided by something greater than herself. Her strength is intimidating to those who do not understand it. Some may mistake her independence for coldness, her confidence for arrogance, and her solitude for loneliness. But she is none of these things. She is simply a woman who knows herself, who has done the inner work, and who does not need the world to complete her. She is whole on her own. This is why a woman who always spends time alone is very dangerous, because she cannot be broken by the things that break others. She cannot be manipulated by false promises. She cannot be shaken by temporary hardships. She has built herself from the inside out, and that kind of strength is unbreakable. She has spent enough time alone to understand her own thoughts, desires, and beliefs. She does not move through life blindly, following the expectations of others or conforming to societal pressures. Instead, she listens to the quiet voice within her, the voice that guides her towards truth, purpose, and authenticity. This makes her incredibly dangerous, not in a harmful way, but in a way that challenges the norms and disrupts the illusions that many live under. She has developed the wisdom to discern what is right for her and what is not. In a world that constantly pulls people in different directions, she remains rooted in her own understanding. She does not make decisions based on fleeting emotions or external influences. Instead, she weighs every choice carefully, considering not only the immediate effects, but also the long-term consequences. She knows that wisdom is not found in impulsiveness, but in patience and clarity. She is not swayed by trends, opinions, or societal expectations. What others find urgent, she often finds irrelevant because she sees beyond the surface. Her wisdom allows her to see people for who they truly are. She is not easily deceived by appearances, flattery, or false promises. She has observed human nature long enough to recognize patterns, to detect insincerity, and to distinguish between genuine intentions and hidden agendas. This makes her formidable in relationships, friendships, and business. She does not fall for manipulation because she understands the motives behind it. She does not settle for mediocrity because she knows what she deserves. People cannot take advantage of her because she sees through deception with sharp clarity. She understands the power of silence and observation. While others rush to speak, to react, and to prove themselves, she takes a step back. She listens more than she talks. She watches more than she engages. This ability to remain still, to absorb and to analyze gives her an incredible advantage. She does not waste energy on unnecessary conflicts. She does not involve herself in drama or meaningless debates. She chooses her battles wisely because she knows that not everything deserves her attention. This level of wisdom makes her intimidating to those who thrive on chaos. They cannot provoke her, they cannot manipulate her emotions, and they cannot pull her into their distractions. She has a deep understanding of herself and the world around her. Many people move through life without questioning why they do what they do. They follow routines, traditions, and expectations without ever stopping to ask if those things truly align with their souls. But a woman who spends time alone has questioned everything. She has deconstructed beliefs that were handed to her and rebuilt them based on truth and experience. She does not believe something just because she was told to. She does not follow blindly. She investigates, she questions, she seeks knowledge, and she arrives at her own conclusions. This independence of thought makes her incredibly powerful because no one can dictate her reality. Her wisdom also allows her to handle difficulties with grace. She understands that life will not always go according to plan, but she does not panic when things fall apart. She does not allow fear to cloud her judgment. Instead, she adapts, she strategizes, and she finds solutions. She does not react emotionally to every setback because she understands that challenges are temporary and often come with hidden lessons. She has trained herself to remain calm under pressure, to think logically in moments of crisis, and to trust that everything will work out in its own time. This ability to remain composed makes her a leader, someone that others look up to when they themselves are lost. She has learned the value of intuition. In a world dominated by logic and external validation, she understands the importance of listening to her inner voice. She knows that true wisdom is not just intellectual. It is spiritual. There are things that cannot be explained, only felt. She has spent enough time in stillness to recognize the subtle nudges that guide her, warning her when something is wrong and confirming when something is right. This intuitive wisdom makes her move with certainty, even when the path ahead is unclear. She does not need to see the whole picture to take the first step because she trusts in the unseen forces that guide her. Her wisdom also makes her selective about who she allows into her life. She does not entertain negativity, dishonesty, or shallow connections. She has learned that the quality of her relationships matters more than the quantity. She does not surround herself with people just to avoid loneliness. She would rather walk alone than walk with the wrong company. This makes her different from the majority, who often stay in relationships, friendships, or situations out of fear. She is not afraid to cut ties with what no longer serves her growth. She is not afraid to be misunderstood, to walk away, or to start over. This kind of independence is intimidating to those who rely on the approval of others to feel secure. She carries herself with a quiet confidence. She does not need to announce her wisdom, prove her intelligence, or seek validation. People naturally recognize it in her presence, in her actions, and in the way she moves through life. She does not waste time explaining herself to those who do not understand her. She knows who she is, and that is enough. This is why a woman who always spends time alone is very dangerous. Because she is not controlled by fear, by opinions, or by manipulation. She moves with wisdom, she acts with purpose, and she cannot be led astray. Those who encounter her either respect her or fear her, but they cannot ignore her. A woman who spends time alone possesses a level of self-control and emotional mastery that is rare and powerful. She has learned to navigate her own thoughts, emotions, and reactions without being driven by external circumstances. In solitude, she has trained herself to respond rather than react, to pause before making decisions, and to detach from unnecessary drama. She does not allow fleeting emotions to dictate her actions, nor does she let the noise of the world disturb her inner peace. This makes her incredibly dangerous, not because she is harmful, but because she is unshakable. She understands that true power is not in controlling others, but in controlling herself. Many people live at the mercy of their emotions. They are easily angered, quickly offended, and constantly seeking validation. They allow their moods to be dictated by external factors, what someone said, how someone looked at them, or what happened during their day. But a woman who values her solitude has risen above this. She has spent enough time alone to observe her own patterns, to recognize her emotional triggers, and to master the art of self-regulation. She does not allow temporary emotions to lead her into permanent mistakes. She has developed the discipline to maintain her focus. The world is filled with distractions, endless entertainment, social pressures, and empty conversations. Many people give in to these distractions, allowing them to steal their time, energy, and purpose. But a woman who spends time alone has learned to guard her focus. She does not waste energy on trivial matters. She is intentional about where she invests her time, her thoughts, and her efforts. She knows that what she focuses on grows, so she chooses wisely. Whether it is her career, her health, or her personal growth, she remains disciplined in her pursuit of excellence. Her self-control makes her unpredictable to others. Many people are easy to read because they react impulsively. If someone offends them, they retaliate. If they feel slighted, they lash out. If they desire something, they chase after it without thinking. But a woman who has mastered herself does not operate this way. She is not controlled by ego, pride, or the need to prove herself. She moves with precision, choosing her words and actions carefully. She does not waste energy engaging in petty conflicts or proving points that do not matter. This unpredictability makes her powerful. No one can easily manipulate her, provoke her, or control her. She has trained herself to walk away from what does not serve her. Many people remain stuck in toxic relationships, unfulfilling jobs, or unhealthy habits because they lack the self-discipline to leave. They stay where they feel comfortable even when they know it is harming them. But a woman who values her solitude does not tolerate situations that drain her energy or diminish her self-worth. She has learned to detach from what no longer aligns with her growth. She does not beg for love, attention, or acceptance. She does not chase after people who do not appreciate her. She does not stay where she is not valued. Her ability to walk away makes her powerful. She is not bound by fear, attachment, or the need for approval. She also has control over her desire. Many people act on impulse, chasing after immediate gratification without considering the long-term consequences. They spend money recklessly, enter relationships out of loneliness, and indulge in habits that do not serve them. But a woman who spends time alone has trained herself to delay gratification. She does not make impulsive decisions that she will later regret. She has the patience to wait for what is right rather than settling for what is easy. This discipline applies to every area of her life, her finances, her relationships, and her personal growth. She does not waste her resources on meaningless pursuits. Her self-control allows her to remain calm under pressure. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. Many people panic in difficult situations, allowing stress to consume them. But a woman who has mastered herself does not allow external chaos to disturb her inner peace. She has learned to stay composed, to think logically, and to make decisions from a place of wisdom rather than fear. She does not let problems overwhelm her. She strategizes, adapts, and finds solutions. This level of emotional stability makes her a natural leader. Others look to her for guidance in times of uncertainty. She does not allow others to control her emotions. Many people give their power away by allowing others to dictate how they feel. If someone compliments them, they feel good. If someone criticizes them, they feel bad. If someone ignores them, they feel unworthy. But a woman who spends time alone has learned that her emotions are her responsibility. She does not depend on others to make her feel valuable, loved, or important. She has built her own sense of self-worth, independent of external validation. This makes her incredibly dangerous to those who seek to manipulate her. She cannot be controlled by flattery, guilt, or emotional games. Her self-control extends to her words. Many people speak without thinking, saying things they later regret. They allow their emotions to dictate their conversations, leading to misunderstandings and conflicts. But a woman who has spent time in solitude has learned the power of silence. She does not engage in unnecessary arguments. She does not waste words trying to convince those who do not understand her. She chooses her words carefully, speaking only when necessary and remaining silent when it is wise. This makes her presence even more powerful. When she speaks, people listen. This is why a woman who always spends time alone is very dangerous, because she is not controlled by emotions, external validation, or impulsive desires. She moves with wisdom, discipline, and purpose. She cannot be easily provoked, manipulated, or swayed. She has mastered herself, and that is the greatest power of all.